Hello, my name is Per Larsen. I'm a senior product manager in the Intune engineering organization, and today I will showcase you how our EPM solution is working within Intune. So I will go straight into the demo. First of all, we have EPM integrated into our Intune console. So by clicking Endpoint Security, we go into Endpoint Privilege Management. The first thing that we need to configure is to go into policy, create a new policy. We have a platform. In this case, there's only Windows. We have two different policy settings. The first one is the elevation settings policy. That is our default onboarding policy. So let me just call this onboarding. And then I will hit next. We have some options. So once it's enabled, that actually means that we will install the EPM agent. We will enable the binaries on the device. We have the default elevation response. Once it's set to not configure, that is the default option. That is setting it into audit mode. Once in audit mode, you will get reports inside your environment of what we actually have and how your users is elevating applications today. We have the elevation data reporting that has to be set to yes, otherwise we cannot see what is actually happening on the devices. On the reporting scope, we have some different options. So one of them is diagnostic data and managed elevation only. That is where we're collecting data only on managed elevation if you have a rule for it. But when we have it in audit mode, you need to collect it for all endpoint elevations, including unmanaged devices. This is one of the top questions we get, including in our support organization. Why do we not see any data inside our report? And it's because our reporting scope is actually configured wrong. Once you have onboarded all your devices, they have been running for 30 days inside an audit mode, then you can see what kind of rules you need to create inside your environment. So if you go into changing this one, we have some different options. For the most secure environment, we can deny all elevation requests. That means if you have an application that needs to be elevated from an end user perspective, you need a rule for it. If you require user confirmed, you can set it up so every user can elevate anything if they use either business justification or Windows authentication. You don't have the level of control of what they can actually elevate on the device. But if you do support approved, that is a backstop option. I will show you how that is working in a demo just in a bit. So if you do not have a rule for what the end user can elevate, then you have to require support approved as a backstop, and the end user can ask permission to elevate an application. I can do next, set the scope tag. I can do the assignment to onboard our devices. It has no user impact if you set it in audit mode. So just do it for everyone and then review and create, and then create it. Once you have created it and it has been running inside your environment for more than 24 hours, you will start to get elevation reports. Elevation reports on what is actually being elevated inside your environment, and you can create rules straight in from the reports. As we can see, there is an Adobe Creator in here. So if I click this one, I get the elevation details. Creative custom hook. So let me just copy that text so I can create a rule based on that. If you look at the details, you can see that this elevation is unmanaged. So that actually means it's end user with local admin privileges that is installing it. So if you want a standard user to elevate this one, you need a rule for it. You can see we have the file path, we have the hash value, we have the file version, we have all the metadata that we need to create a rule. So if I click create rules, I create a new rule. We have the type. That could be user confirmed, it could be automatic, or it could be support approved. In this case, I will just use user confirmed. We have the child process behavior. We have different options. If we use deny all, that is the most secure option, but any child process that needs to be elevated when the end user is running this application will also be blocked. You can also say that it requires a rule. That is the second best option. But if you don't want to have that overhead of management, you can allow all child process to be created. Some application need to have this configured to work properly when you elevate it with EPM. So I will select this option for this use case, and then I will click OK. I will give it a policy name, and I just took the one that I took from the report just a second ago. So if I go back and I go into policies and I refresh, I have the rules that I just created. That rule has all the metadata in it. And if I changed my mind in how do I actually want it, I want to require a rule to elevate instead of allowing everything to elevate. And as you can see, we have all the metadata already pre-filled when I did this one. You can also restrict it with putting an argument if you have any argument supports for this application. This is an easy way to create a rule. So as I showed you before, you can set this one up as has a backstop option for allowing the end user to elevate with support approved. So let me take you into a demo in a Windows 365 device where I will elevate an application that I don't have the rights to. In this case, I'm on a Windows 365 device. I've downloaded Visual Studio. I want to install this as an end user, and I'm a standard user on the device. So I can right click on it. I can click Run with Elevated Access. And then it goes to the workflow, our support approved workflow. In this case, I need to enter business justification. Can I please install this? And then I will click send. It's working on it. It's sending the information into our backend. And I will just close this on the end user side. So let's quickly switch back. Now it's inside our elevation request. I can click on it. And I can see who's the user, what device did I do it from. And again, is this device actually compliant? And it is. So I can approve it. What is the status of it? And then I can approve it or I can revoke it afterwards. So in case that I have already allowed this one, I can revoke it afterwards. Let's say that I need this one. I need multiple users to be able to install Visual Studio. Then I can create a rule based off these files. I can add it to an existing policy. I can create a new one, just like I did from the report before. It goes through the exact same workflow. It's super easy to create EPM rules from the report instead of going out and collecting the information from the files itself on the end user's device. This is what I wanted to show you today. A call to action. If you have the license for Intune Suite or EPM, go out today, enable it in audit mode, take a look over the next 10 to 20 days, see what kind of application your end users is actually elevating. Afterwards, you can create all the rules that you need inside your environment where you're allowing users to run these applications is in elevated. Please remember, there's two options. There's either elevating an application in runtime or elevating an application in install time. So minimize the application that you need elevation in runtime, but for installation, just like this, where an end user needs to have an application installed that you don't have in your application catalog, they can get the rights to do it on demand with our support approved, and they will be able to do it within minutes. Thank you for watching.